YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews, and today I'm doing the 2020 RX 350. This is, I think maybe the second Lexus that I've done, but it's an all-wheel drive SUV. I wanted to check it out. I drove it. I like it, but we're gonna go through some of the features, talk about some of the things that I like about it, and then I'll show you some of the space and options that it has so that you can decide if you want to spend over $50,000 on an SUV. Again, it's got the new look, upgraded grille. We'll open the hood, we'll look at the engine. But anyway, it's your boy, let's get at it.
Turn right onto Patriot Circle. In 900 feet, you'll...
All right, so the first thing we notice when we get in is the doors are actually quite heavy. And this is, you see the wood paneling here. Unlike some of the other cars, it's not the natural wood look. It's kind of a treated wood look, and it's okay. This two-tone, I'm not really feeling, but you know, some people might like it. It's like kind of a cafe and a chocolate color with the brown wood. And so the interior matches that. So we're gonna go in here and look at this. But if you look at the wood, it's the natural wood, again, not the treated wood, which I like. And then the first thing you'll notice when you cut it on, they have like a graphic, which is kind of cool. When it starts up, it's gonna start like with the rainfall, and then it's the Lexus. Now this is a 12.3-inch screen, which I think people will appreciate. And the nice part about it is that it is touchscreen. Even though down here you have like a pad that has taptic feedback. I don't know if that's what they call it, but it's just like with the iPhone, and it allows you to feel like the inputs that you're putting in here, but you can touch it straight here too. And the beauty of this, and you've heard my criticism in the past of some of the kind of the touchscreens, the new touchscreens that Audi has, is that this doesn't leave any fingerprints. Look at that. No fingerprints. I don't know how they've done it, what they made the screen out of, but there are no fingerprints. And then you can go to different settings here. You can go to different things here. I did a double map, but then you can also reset everything here by just hitting. And then if you close this, it'll close out, or it should close out, but you know. This is what happens when you're new. Oh, hit return. You have your app menu comes up here. But the one thing you'll notice about this car that's unique is that all the cars are going to like either a full digital screen here or a hybrid digital screen. And this has a very minimal like color digital screen in the middle, and it still sticks with the analog, which I actually appreciate because I like the analog dials, even though, you know, that's the wave of the future. The other thing that you'll notice with this is similar to Porsche. You have the analog dial here. So if I turn this off, the clock will stop at this time, but then say we wait for a certain amount of time and I turn it back on, the clock will automatically go back to the right time. So it'll reset and go back to the right time. So when you touch the information screen on the inside, on the side panel on the right-hand side, you can close it down here at the bottom, which is nice. But again, like I said, this doesn't have fingerprints. I like it. It's pretty intuitive, which is a big plus. You know, some of the cars that we reviewed aren't intuitive. And like I said, I like the analog setup of the inside. The thing that I also like about the inside of the cockpit is, if we scroll back a little bit, you'll see that it's very similar to, even though it's an SUV, it's very similar to a car. I'm actually turning the camera around so you can see. It's very similar to, you know, to the way a car is set up. It's kind of tight. Not tight in a way that makes you feel confined, but tight in a way that makes you feel like bolstered in the seats. And these seats are actually nicely bolstered. If you can see, they're nicely bolstered on the side. The leather is actually supple. I always try to talk about the difference in the leather. The quality for me goes, at least from what I've experienced, is high-end Italian cars, most German luxury cars, high-end Japanese cars, mid to low-end German cars, mid to low-end Asian cars, Korean, Japanese, and then American cars in terms of the leather suppleness. Because what you'll find is that the leather, this leather here, it actually feels nice to the touch. It feels high quality. The build quality seems high quality, and I like that. Let's flip around and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the setup of the steering wheel, just because you guys have never seen this car. So if we go back to the steering wheel, you'll see the setup. Everything is here, or not everything, but many of the things that you can control here, and you can go like different modes, things like that. We didn't want to do that, but different modes, or you can turn music on, you can turn the volume up and down, you can answer your phone calls here. It has collision warnings, and it also has this kind of the stop and go traffic sensor, which I like. And then what is cool about this car, again, it's an SUV, but it has paddle shifters, and that's an option I think you can pay for, and I'll drop the sheet in here so you can see all the options that this has. But paddle shifters are kind of cool. The other thing that's nice about this, and this is like for people with families, is that it has 3 settings, right? So you have your setting, your spouse's setting, and maybe your kid's setting. So you get 3 settings so that when you come in your car, you're like, I can't believe that they messed up my seat. Well, you hit it. And most cars have 2 settings, but you know, I find with the Japanese model cars and the Korean cars, they really try to go above and beyond. The stereo setup, pretty good stereo setup. It's not the premium one. It's just the, I think it's not the premium one. I have to check the write-up, but it does have Sirius XM radio, and it has HD radio, which is nice. A nice addition. And again, when I talk about here, when you touch this, you can feel it every time you touch it. Every time I touch this, I feel the feedback. Let's go to something else. We'll go to the menu. It's very almost weird because it pulses under your finger when you touch it. So, and it makes a noise. So that is good, I would say, for, you know, folks that don't wear their glasses in the car. You can feel what you're doing when you're hitting the right thing, and then the corresponding thing up here, it makes a note, makes a sound, which is kind of cool. And so for me, I think that's actually quite nice. This doesn't have the panoramic sunroof. We're gonna swap it around so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, I actually can go like this. It just has a regular sunroof. I assume you have an option that you can get a panoramic sunroof, just because there's so much room back here. You can see there's so much room back here. So I think there probably is an option, but I'm not 100% sure. But it has a regular sunroof, and you know, just like with anything else, you can pop it up or you can open it. I think, let me put that down first. There we go. And then you just open it. It's a rainy day today, that's why I wasn't really trying to open it, but it's not raining right now, so we'll close that. And again, that's pretty much it. I mean, you have your USB ports. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Audio. So if you plug in here, or if it has the newest version, so you can link up actually through Bluetooth as well. But if you plug in here, it'll automatically detect what kind of phone you have. You have an Android or an iPhone, and then you can put your maps and everything in here. And I just didn't put the cord. I didn't bring the cord so you can see that, but it's actually pretty cool. And you've seen it in some of my other reviews. It is becoming pretty standard, and actually it's great that they have the map integrated, but you don't really have to worry about the map, because typically your phone is going to have better navigation software than your car. But that's just Just saying. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump around to the back just so you can see how much room. So remember, 6'4", this car is set for me. We'll see how much room we got in the back. So let's jump in the back. This car is standard with 19-inch wheels, just so you know. Or no, excuse me, standard with 18-inch wheels with this package, which is in an area like Washington, D.C. It's actually good because there's so many potholes. Now look, that seat was set for me. I am hella comfortable in here. I have space between my legs. It is very nice. If I'm a passenger back here, I feel nice. I'm ready to go on the road trip. Because it doesn't have the panoramic sunroof, and I'm going to swap it around. Because it doesn't have the panoramic sunroof, if you're a person who feels confined, even though there's a lot of space, look, that is a lot of space. It can feel dark and confining back here because the back windows are tinted. Remember, you have the back privacy glass. So it's tinted back here. Young kids probably like it, but some adults may not like not having that kind of a sunroof here. But it's nice, and you can see my legs. I have a lot of space. I am sitting up. I am 6'4". My legs are cool. There's a lot of space back here. It is just really nice. And like I said, the leather just feels so nice. It is a really nice build. And then there's USB ports. We'll swap around again. Ports on the bottom. So if you look here, your passengers can charge. And I'm not sure if it's linked to the kind of the Apple CarPlay, but or the Android Audio, but you definitely can charge back here. And so this is nice. The seats are nice. They're vented and heated seats in the rear and in the front. So that's kind of cool. And then just the feel of the, like I said, the feel of the leather, the build quality. Lexus does a very good job. A very good job. You know, I am all about my German cars, but I have to say that the build quality of the Lexus, and this comes down, even though it doesn't have commander style seats, this comes down, and then you have your cup holders, your secret cup holders, which is kind of cool. And it's just nice and smooth. Look at this, watch this. Comes out nice and slow, and it's like, ta-da. But it's, you know, so that means it seats 5 comfortably. So let's move to the trunk, because I know that's what you guys are waiting for. All right, so this is a trunk space. I'm gonna flip it around only so you can see me standing up above it, which is kind of cool. But I like it, and we'll check it out. You have this part. I'm 6'4", and it doesn't hit my head. It's all the way up right now, so that means you can easily put stuff back and forth in there. And your seats fold down, which is kind of cool. You know, with all these cars, it's pretty standard. And it has a privacy cover that comes across so that when you have stuff in there and you have it closed, people can't look through your trunk to see what you have in there. So we're gonna jump in here and we'll see how much space there is. But look, we're in here. Ugh. I'm in here. I'm in the trunk, you know. And then I get the privacy cover. Oh, I'm gone. And then I'm back like the Egyptian magician. Punch me in the chest. Ugh. So that's it. I'm still not necessarily feeling that new Lexus front. It's the same that's on the cars. Not necessarily feeling it, but now that's clean. Look at that. That is a clean engine. Like, well, also you can tell the car is new. There's no dirt on this engine at all. But look at that. And this cover is plastic. Looks metal. Has that metallic feel. It's like super hot right now because the engine's hot. But look at that. V6 power packed in there, tight. But what you notice is different from the way Germans do their car engines and the way some of the car companies, manufacturers do their cars. There is space. I can see to the ground. Look at that. You can see all the way to the ground. When you open up a German car's hood, even if it's like a Volkswagen or something like that, you are not seeing to the ground. Just saying. And that's just kind of, they pack it in Here, the Japanese actually give you a little bit more room to work with if you're an auto mechanic, so that's kind of cool. But this is it. It's pretty quiet running. Driving it was not bad. Like I said, it drives like a car. I appreciate it. My experience with Lexus and some of the other car manufacturers is that they do everything really well. They are good at the finishing touches of cars, making sure that that last mile, they're going to make it amazing, right? RX 350. They're going to make it amazing. But in terms of innovation, they don't really, like, there's no technology that I can think of. And again, I could be wrong, but there's no technology that I can think of that they just came up with and they're like, oh, this is like developed by Lexus. And there's probably some, but I just can't think of any technology. So what they do is they take existing technology and make it outstanding, which is a great thing to do. So you can see the menu moving as you scroll through. Like I said, it's interesting they decided to go with analog and a smaller kind of instrument display, but I like it. One thing of note when like, you know, most cars now have backup cameras, the one thing I don't like about the way this car works is that its camera for some reason distorts the image, which is not, which is kind of weird. So as you can see, you see the image is curved a little bit, and like most cameras don't do that. That's just kind of a weird, I think because they're trying to use a wide angle lens, but it just comes across as weird. So that's just something to think about when you're buying this car. The backup camera system is kind of weird, and it doesn't have the front cameras. At least I didn't see the front cameras, but anyway, just wanted to throw that out. Well, that's it for today's review of the Lexus RX 350. I like it. It runs about 50,000 as equipped. I'll drop the sheet in there so you guys can see it, but it's a pretty cool car. I am happy to have had an opportunity to review it. I think you'll like it. I would say go test drive it. Go to the Lexus dealership. You know, the finishing on it, amazing. If you like Japanese cars, if you like the drive and feel of the sedans, this all-wheel drive SUV RX drives like a car. So with that, it's your boy GB Reviews. Please subscribe, like below, hit that notification bell because you want to know when my next videos come out, and also hit that like button so that the YouTube algorithm can show my video. But anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. I'm out. Subscribe, like below. Peace.
Subscribe right below.